Coverage of the Alabama Bass Trail Tournament Series, presented by Black Rifle Coffee, is brought to you by Phoenix Boats, Fish Alabama, Alabama State Parks, AmFirst Federal Credit Union, by Mountain Dew, by Garmin, TH Marine, Academy Sports and Outdoors, by Jax, Bill Penny Automotive, Wadowee Marine, Strike King, Luz, by Bahio Sunglasses, and by Busch Light. Live on the water coverage begins now.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kay Donaldson, Director of the Alabama Bass Trail Tournament Series, and it is Saturday, May 14th, and we're at the fourth stop of the Alabama Bass Trail South Division here at beautiful Lay Lake. I want to give a huge shout out to the Shelby County Commission. They are our host this week. We got to spend some time with Miss Kendall Williams yesterday talking about the great things going on here in Shelby County and all the things having to do with fishing tournaments here in Shelby County and on Lay Lake. I want to thank them for being our hosts this week. We've had tremendous service from them. They've been out pressure washing. They've been out getting everything ready here on the grounds for us to have our tournament today, and want to send out a huge thank you to them. Also, before we get started this morning, on a sad note, since we had our last tournament, we did lose one of our Alabama Bass Trail South anglers. Mr. Barry Chafin passed away right after our Alabama River tournament, so we do want to send out our hearts and thoughts and prayers to his family as they deal with the loss of Mr. Barry Chafin, as well as most of you probably know we did lose a legend in our sport this week, Mr. Ray Scott, so our thoughts and prayers go out to his family, as well as a couple of our anglers who are feeling under the weather today that were unable to be with us today. We're thinking about them while we are here on the banks of the beautiful Lay Lake on the Coosa River. For those of you who are not familiar with Lay Lake, it is just over 12,000 acres. It is on the Coosa chain of lakes, located just about 35 minutes from Birmingham, Alabama, just south of Birmingham. It is conveniently located between Logan Martin Lake and Lake Mitchell, and it is a great, great fishery. Teams this week have kind of complained that it is fishing a little tough for them. We did see a 20-pound bag come off this lake last week with a 719 and a 6.5-pound bass in that bag. So it's going to be interesting today. The weather, totally different from what we've seen leading up through our tournament series in February, March, and April. We have had temperatures in the high 80s. And at night, it's not dropping very far. We're still seeing 75 to 79 degrees at night. So we have got that stabilized warm weather, which is what the guys always ask for the fishing, and not much wind. The water has been pretty much glassed over. I think they are going to need some wind today. I think they were kind of hoping for some overcast skies. I'm not sure that they'll get those. 225 teams registered for this event back in August of last year, and it sold out in under 2 hours. So going to be interesting to see what's going to go out on the water today. This is a lake that the weights have varied over the past 8 years that we've been here. We've seen from 17 pounds up to 24 pounds win this event, and we have had a 24-pound bag in May, so it's going to be real interesting to see how that plays out today. Anglers are looking for largemouth and spotted bass measuring 12 inches or better. Nobody wants to bring in a 5 fish limit of 12-inch bass. It's not going to do them a whole lot of good as far as a paycheck, but it may get them into the championship. We had 18 teams not show up this morning at last count, so we have a few less on the water today. Here are some teams we think you should keep an eye on today. Our winners from the Alabama River Tournament, Brian Stifler, Wesley Gore, they are currently sitting second in the Angler of the Year points, just 14 points back from Rob Lee and Steve Winslet. This is a home lake to these guys, so it's going to be interesting to see how they attack the whole idea. They're second in points. Do they just try to keep themselves there to get to Eufaula, or do they swing for the fence, go for another win, and put themselves in contention to win that Angler of the Year? We mentioned Rob Lee and Steve Winslet. They've been here a number of times with the Alabama Bass Trail and with other tournaments. It's going to be interesting to see how they break this water down today. 3 times winners here on the Alabama Bass Trail in May and June. Chris Rutland, Kobe Carden, we've already seen them out on the water this morning. We do know they have fish in the boat, so hopefully we'll get to catch up with them a little bit later on in the day. Anyone inside this top 10 considers this body of water pretty much home water, so it's going to be interesting to see if they have the home lake curse or if they can overcome that and bring home that $10,000 check today. On the water today, our team is Kenneth Grover, Jason Duran, and Laura Ann Foshi. They're going to be out on the water for 4 hours today, bringing you all the action as it happens. And we're going to start off with Mr. Kenneth Grover as he shows us the Academy Sports and Outdoors first cast of the day. Kenneth?
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to give you all a quick update real quick. I am in Little Beeswax Creek, and at the moment I am with Love. Horton and Brandon Horton. They did go back into a very shallow area and they wanted to have that space, so I let them have that space and went over to another boat, and they had 0 fish at the moment, but just wanted to give an update on them as well. But right now it looks like we're fishing this grass. Now I'm not going to get super close because these isolated grass patches to my left, they're wanting to fish of their territory. What? With the dock talk, you. What are the three? Nice. Got one. Ah, yeah, yeah. You called it too. Gotcha. 7.5 or 8. Nice. What was that on? I didn't catch it.
That's a weightless worm.
Weightless worm?
Yeah, Cinco style.
Cinco style. Gotcha.
Bubble gum color.
Bubble gum. I respect that.
Yeah, we got 2 more in there, a lot smaller than that. We got to get rid of.
At this pace, I think you will get rid of them.
I hope you're right.
I'm right with everything. Well, you guys are the first people I've talked to today. Where?
$79.
79. pretty well, so we're hoping we'll get another fish catch on camera. How did y'all place? First? Wait, so is this the juice?
Even though we were boat 87, we wanted to be fishing as quick as possible, so this is the closest place to start fishing.
How big was the tournament you were fishing yesterday?
I'm sorry?
How big was the tournament you were fishing yesterday?
Not very big. There
Okay.
was about 20 boats in it.
I was wondering if there was a lot of pressure today from that, if that was going
Well,
on.
It definitely put a spotlight on us.
Yeah.
So, coming into this, that was our goal. Let's see if we can't get in the top 75.
If you could fish full-time professionally, would you do it?
At a younger age, not now, probably. Lucky I get to do this.
That'd be a different story,
I
right?
would do it.
How long have you guys been fishing tournaments together?
Good 20 years.
20 years? Dang. So y'all are really in sync as partners then.
I know we look 20, but yeah, we're not. Yeah, we have the same sort of style, so it works well together.
That's good.
5. What's your boat number? What's your boat number?
Probably 2.5 pounder.
Okay.
It's been slow. We haven't had many bites yet, so
All right.
maybe we'll figure something out.
All right. Don't let us hold you back.
Okay.
Good luck to you.
Right back there.
Okay. They're not going far. They're going to look us all the way. They got one fish so far. They're kind of tough. Looks like they're just kind of covering water. Kind of what I expect from a lot of these teams this morning. We heard some guys talk about shed spawn. That's kind of what you do. Take advantage of this early morning bite. Hit these shoreline grass beds and basically keep moving with the dragging fish. We were on a team this morning, Kobe Card and Chris Rutland, and that's kind of what they were doing. We saw them catch 4 fish. He did release 1, so 1 wasn't a keeper, so they had 3 fish for probably, roughly 6 pounds or so. Best we could tell. We were a little ways from them, but best we could tell, that's kind of what they had. But we're just kind of getting started this morning. This is the 3rd team we've been on, and so far, Chris and Kobe's had the most fish catches that we've seen or heard about so far.
Alright guys, so we're moving from boat to boat. I'm not sure who we've got here to our left yet. I don't know by memory who that is, but hopefully we'll meet them here at the end of this grass line and I'll be able to get a quick update from them. It looks like they're fishing the inside of, it looks like kind of like a path, as if, a lot of boats have been through there at some point, and it's kind of like just a little walkway that they can fish in parallel. It looks like maybe either a chatterbait or a spinnerbait, something with a skirt on it, but I can't quite tell. May even be a swim jig. Especially with the way they bounce their rods, I'm definitely thinking it's a swim jig now that I think about it. Yeah, swim jig with a swim bait trailer, I'm pretty sure. I do not know these guys' boat number yet. I'm about to ask them once I get close enough. What boat number are you guys? 223. And that is, let's see. Oh, that's Shane and Brandon. I saw them earlier. Have y'all caught anything? I just realized you're the guys that I saw earlier. I was like, who is that? Yeah, I saw these guys earlier, but they were so shallow that I couldn't get to them to interview them, so I moved to another boat. But yeah, they're definitely swim jigging this grass line. They currently do not have any fish at the moment. Earlier when I first checked in with them, they didn't have any, and it looks like they haven't upgraded since then. But I mean, the guys that we just talked to, they could definitely catch one here soon. They're not far from that other boat that we were just interviewing. Something I'm noticing is that they're fishing very quickly. It looks like they're trying to cover a lot of area in a small amount of time. How did practice go for you guys?
Went real good.
One real good?
It was kind of slow during practice, but we didn't really try to swing on anything, you know.
Did you spend a lot of time in here?
Sometimes.
Are y'all heading out?
Yeah. Yeah, we done had enough in here today.
I gotcha.
Go find some other stuff. You can come with us if you want to.
On my way. How do you think that it'll be easy for me to get to these guys back here?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. I've been here during the winter months when it's a little lower, so I couldn't remember if I had a clear shot back there. So we have a boat very close, right across from Shane here. I'm gonna get a quick update from these guys. That's a good thing about being in this creek is so many people fish back here, especially during the early hours of the day. So lots of boats here, lots of people to interview.
Hitting, but a lot of guys trying to run this bank grass pretty good. A lot of espresso. So I'm gonna be jacked up the rest of the day. Just want you to know that. So thankfully I don't have a rub in my hand because I'd be jacking them in. We did catch up earlier this morning with Josh Chappell and right there at the top of the AOI points, and they had 3 fish in the boat, and one of those fish was a 3-pounder. So it looks like guys are catching them early this morning. It's been pretty exciting. I mean, we haven't even had to drive very far. So we're gonna keep getting us some good coverage throughout the day. Guys, tell us what's working this morning.
Cinco, what we caught that one off of.
Bank grass, pretty much.
Yep. Caught a few here the other day. That was maybe our first stop. Then we caught the biggest fish we caught in 2 days.
Said they're using Cinco this morning. Just trying to get a reaction strike.
They don't really seem like they want to chase anything. They're really.
They don't want to make a chase. You want to be right on top of them.
Gotta hit them in the nose.
How many days did y'all spend practicing? y'all notice any shad spawn earlier in the week?
I'm not gonna wait on live. I'm just gonna.
Okay.
They come to us. They come to us. Whatever.
I like the way you think.
We're all going live.
Yeah, I got it.
Just pulling up on the team of John Pollard and Dallas Weldon, currently 5th in AOI standings. Afraid I might scare them. I don't know that they even know that I'm here. They're so focused on what they're doing here. Guys, how's your morning going so far?
Got 2.
Got 2. What kind of size?
About 2 pounds.
All right, about 2 pounds apiece. Is that kind of how you expected your morning to go, or?
Yeah, really. I mean, with our practice, we didn't have a good practice. We didn't find hand light. We're both too keen, obviously, taken.
Right. Had a bite there. Fish didn't keep it though. Looks like they're throwing shaky head worms here. We're kind of, this would probably be considered mid-lake, mid to lower lake, and I'm starting. He just said his fish are in a real negative mood for some reason. You think it's just a case of maybe we're a little bit in that post-spawn funk kind of deal?
I think so. We see a lot of fish. These fish can't get them to cooperate. Every now and then we'll get one bite.
The fish you got, are they spots or largemouth?
They're both spot.
Okay.
No, we got one. What you call? Oh, excuse me, one's largemouth.
So one of each?
I didn't even see it.
These guys are kind of fishing off the end of a long point. There's a little high spot at the end of this point, shallow spot, and he's kind of fishing off the edge of it.
Because they really are spawning.
These fish, you look behind him where those pontoon boats are. That's probably where these fish have been spawning. They spawn in the back of the park. It's kind of an area where these fish move out.
Wood, whatever the shad are spawning on, and they'll just go into a feeding frenzy. And that tends to keep the bass in here close to the bank. This time of year, the bass really.
saw that in our first area. We weren't quite as far down the lake as we are now. But as I get down the lake, and I think it may be more time of day. I think as the sun's come up, I'm seeing guys fish a little bit more offshore. You know, that shad spawn's a crazy deal because it can change on you in a hurry. You could have found a shad spawn yesterday morning and try to go there this morning, and all of a sudden it's not happening, and it's almost like there's not a fish anywhere in the area. Shad spawns can be really good, but they can also throw you for you know, a nasty curveball. I know a lot of these guys were hoping that would happen.
These guys just said off camera they were saying that they feel like it's really the tail end that it's kind of playing out. So earlier this week, they said they barely saw shad kind of spawning up, just here and there. So guys that are going out today looking for it, you know, may not be able to find it. It's fun though, right? When they are spawning,
Hey,
and you can get on.
yes,
It's a pretty good frenzy for a
oh
little
yeah,
bit.
it's almost like it's just a magical situation. But you know, the teams that are going to do well today are teams that have prepared to be able to catch fish throughout the day. You can't, you know, the shad spawn, you have to be considered as a bonus. You can't really count on that for your tournament success. You have to prepare to catch fish all day long.
If you take a team like Josh Chaplin, Paul Davis, who were in here in this same little pocket, that caught 3 fish and caught a 3-pounder in that group. That 3-pounder may make it to weigh-in. They could get 4 more of those 3-pounders. It's pretty good bite. And they left here, so they kind of knew that it's probably played out and we're getting out of here. That shad spawn could be over, if it was even happening right now, it could be over in 15-20 minutes once the sun gets up.
You know, yeah, but if you spent 30, 45 minutes in there and you catch a 3-pounder, you've accomplished something.
All right, guys, we're gonna go try another place.
These guys are starting to move again. Appreciate it, guys. Good luck to you.
Appreciate it.
These guys are about to make another run. We had actually seen them the last place we were in. They were kind of in that creek, so they're not going to spend a lot of time in any one area, I don't think, unless they land on one. They're getting a lot of bites. I expect to see these guys kind of move around and hope that they hit the right place at the right time. Get their point, so they're looking to get it done. They're not going to waste time on just keeping. These guys are looking for a solid limit, keep their position in the points race. Kind of scoping that point as he idles off. He told us that there was some fish there, it just couldn't get in the bite. Getting real thin.
Just a reminder, we're on boat 163, Stephen Eskew and Matthew Freeman. They do have 1 fish in the box. It is a 3-pounder. They started in this area right here, just a little cut off of Beeswax. It's a creek right here at the mouth of Beeswax. They said that throwing a floating worm earlier is what they caught them on. Really happy they said they hit them on here. Swing out there and kind of get it kind of deal. It's maybe just a flip everywhere and check it out. They have thrown some top water and they see a little bit it's really shallow. I mean, trolling motor, I'd pull the trolling motor up because we were dragging the ground. So these fish are still in the back of these pockets. Some of them have probably spawned out. Probably a good portion of them probably spawned out. Maybe some males in here who still guard and fry. Had a full moon this weekend. Fishermen know that tends to bring the bass to the bank as well. Been really good water temperature. I know you can see the grass, and you think, well, man, that's the bank. Well, if you see the shot, the trees are actually the bank. So this grass comes out a good 30, 40 yards in some spots. Oh, fish on, good fish.
Yeah, about a pound and a half.
Pound and a half. So with that one going in the box, that gives us 2. So the first one they had was 3 pounds. So that one's a pound and a half. So we're sitting at 4.5. The goal probably for the day is, you guys are saying 18 pounds. I know last weekend we had a tournament one here that was 20 pounds, but that was anchored by 2 fish over 5, 1 7-pounder. So it's just a great day there. I'm not saying guys can't have that kind of day here today, but it could happen. But you know, realistically, I think guys are probably pushing for 18 pounds. So as we bring Lorianne into the shop now, kind of bounce around this morning, getting us some good coverage all over the lake. Lorianne's in the back of Beeswax, where I'm sitting at the mouth of Beeswax, and we don't have our old Mr. Cohort, probably Floyd here, but he would tell you today that there was a Bassmaster Classic one by Mr. Kevin Van Dam, somewhat well-known guy in the bass fishing industry.
Well, right now I'm with boat 105, James Pitts and Jonathan Munkus, and as we were just pulling in, they caught a fish that was probably about 2.5 pounds, and apparently as of now, after catching that fish, they have 4 fish for about 9 pounds, so they're doing pretty solid. Something I noticed that they're doing is the angler at the front is throwing a spinnerbait, and the angler in the back is throwing a wacky rig worm, weightless, just like that first boat that we interviewed. And so I'm seeing a little bit of a pattern there, and it's also in that pink color, so I wonder if that's going to be like a trend for this area this morning. As far as they've caught 2 fish here, so they had 2 fish before we came in, so they're doing pretty good. I kind of want to stick with these guys and see if they catch a 3rd. It's this point of the day where you
try to make a decision, do we stay or do we leave? And if you were fishing a shad spawn, you're probably going to say, man, I think they've kind of played out. But these guys really technically aren't fishing a shad spawn, they're fishing grass and getting bites along the way. They said they got to hit them right on the head. And as I'm coming out of this pocket where we've already fished down this bank one time and we're working our way back out, in my mind I'm probably saying, you know, we probably need to make a move. Because today's going to be about making a move and catching fish, making a move and catching fish. And here we caught one. So now we're going to sit in here a little longer and try to decide again, what is the point that we've got to make a move? The guys said earlier that we caught our biggest fish in here in practice, and then we came back later in the week on Thursday and caught more fish. So that's why they're staying in this area, is they've caught fish here in practice, they caught big fish here in practice, and they, you know, just taking their time to break it down and hopefully get it to produce on tournament day. Because it's not about winning practice. I'm pretty good at winning practice, I'll just say that, y'all all know that, but taking your time today and really picking apart this area, as Kenneth said earlier, and being able to catch fish all day long. So as they catch fish all day long in this area, and they're catching and taking upgrade to 3-pounders every time, and you're at 15 pounds, pretty easy.
Yeah, Jason, it seems like fishing slow is the trend right now. Like, if you're fishing fast, you're missing out on a lot of fish, I feel like.
I would say that. You know, Josh and them were in this area and slowed through an area, and then they put the trolling motor on high and picked up the frog and ran it over the grass real quick. I think they were probably hitting an area where they knew some fish were, fished it slow, and then because there were other guys in the area that they were having to share water with, they said, let's make a move. More guys going towards the back of these banks. I think I've seen 3 boats run in just the last few minutes here. When I took off this morning to leave, boats in there already. This morning to go into the back. That's good fishing. And some guys are looking just to maintain their points. Some guys are looking to catch, you know, a check. And you got the guys that are making the runs and trying to win this thing. They're tired of just catching checks every week. And they don't really, you know, some guys are so far out of the points that they won't be in the top of the Bassmaster Team Championship. They're not looking to win AOY. You know, they're looking to win 10 grand today. They're the ones that are. As we would say, you know, they're the ones that are going to risk it to get the biscuit. And, you know, Jax is making them biscuits all day long, you know, so. The local Jax is.
So just a reminder, guys, we're with boat 105, James Pitts and Jonathan Munkus. They have 4 fish for about 9 pounds. You still have 4 fish, or do you have 5 now? You have 5 now. So you're at 10 and a half?
Probably roughly 10.
Okay. How did this area?
No, we went from dam to dam.
Dam to dam. And have you been fishing grass this whole time?
That's all we fished this morning.
I mean, like during practice through now.
We caught our better fish yesterday fishing grass.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided we'd start on it.
Run this morning. It was an early bite yesterday, so stick with it.
Do you think that fishing slow is really important for you guys?
I think so.
Just staying in like one area, really picking it apart. Do you think that that's important because fish are kind of finicky right now?
Yeah. Yesterday we had just a small window in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Caught them pretty good. Then it tapered off. Later it got during the day.
As it got hotter?
Yeah. So we decided, you know, we caught a few right here yesterday morning, so we decided we'd start here.
And you've got nice shade right here, right on this grass edge too, so that's always a win.
They're trying to stay in the shaded areas right now.
Yeah.
Get all we can out of this window. Just hope we get lucky.
All right, guys, so our TH Marine weather update for the day. We've got temperatures of 66 degrees. We've got sunny and / cloudy weather, west-northwest winds from about 4 to 6, and it feels comfortable outside right now, you guys. And we have very little wind going on in this spot, especially with the amount of trees we have around us and how closed in this area is. Water is like glass back here.
I think this is the first turn we didn't freeze to death at takeoff.
To the left.
Up on boat 1. Second in AOI. We actually pulled up on them in another area, and they were leaving as we were coming to them. So we kind of followed them. This is where they led us to. Guys, what you got in live well so far?
3.5 and a little over 2.
Okay, 1 3.5, 1 a little over 2. Spots or largemouth?
Largemouth.
Okay.
We're not the best spot fishermen.
That's not a bad thing.
Well, that's a start anyway.
Yep.
We need some wind.
This is Brian Stifler and Wesley Gore. These guys won our last South event at Alabama River, and they're currently second in AOY standings. 2 fish in the live well so far, 3.5, 2.5, both largemouth. I'm about to ask him about that, matter of fact. Let's see. So guys, the last event you were eating pizza not long from now. What's the plan for today?
That's a big difference right there. You know, last event, coming back out of that pond, we chewed up a prop pretty good, and we were afraid we'd sling a blade or something and not make it back.
Right.
But on this lake, I mean, we'll fish to the very end.
Okay.
Which we do most lakes. But,
right.
You know,
that was just a special event there.
Something throughout the day. We had nothing else in the Alabama River.
Right.
Those fish are so scattered right now, it's tough to pattern them.
Right. So no pizza breaks for these guys today. They're going to fish all day long regardless. Set the hook. It's going to be another keeper. That'll be keeper number 3.
Now we caught a spot. You brought us a bad spot, look.
Oh my gosh. This third bite. Little bitty spots, it won't get in their mouth.
Right.
I let that one swim under the boat with it.
Yeah, I could tell you were playing with it for a little while.
I had 2 minutes ago swim all the way out of the pond with it when y'all were getting ready, and they just wouldn't have it.
Right.
It's not MLF. We don't have a 2-pound limit, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm tiny. Bunch of little ones.
As long as it's 12 inches, you're good.
It's 12.
We're going to need a lot more than that.
If not, I stand on it a little while. You see one behind the door?
I'll slide up. Put another one.
Sure.
We'll get 15 today, we'll be happy.
I hear. One thing I've noticed from these guys so far is they're chipper, they're upbeat, in a good mood, and you know, he made the comment where how it's these fish are scattered. It may take him all day to catch what they need. I think that's the right attitude to have. You got to stay upbeat. You may go long periods of time without bites, and you just got to keep your head in it and be prepared when you do get the bites. Set the hook and a miss. Could have been another spotted bass. They say these spotted bass are eating real finicky.
Intelligent fish.
Took part of his worm.
Surely somebody this morning landed on the shad spawn.
I'm sure it happened somewhere.
Yeah. I'm glad that lack of wind didn't help them. They've been good Monday and Thursday. Probably 5 different problems.
Wesley and Brian are kind of running a ledge here in this creek, and they're kind of going from brush pile to brush pile. He keeps looking at it. He's using live sonar, finding these brush piles, and they're kind of running from one to another. Hook set. He hooked this one. Going for the net, he thinks it's a bigger fish, I think. That should have been keeper number 4 he just put in live well. I'm going to swing back around. I'm going to cross the camera here in a second, but I'm afraid I'm kind of going to get in his way. He's got a series of brush piles that he's fishing down through here, and I'm trying to keep the sun in the right angle, but I also don't want to get across any of his brush piles. Because he's about where he started right now, and he caught one little spot. Give him an opportunity to rotate through these if he wants to. Like I said earlier, these guys were upbeat and in a good mood, and I think that continues. He did say they're looking for 15 pounds. He feels if he gets to 15 pounds that, that'll be enough to kind of keep them in contention for the points and keep them where they need to be. So they're not there, but they're doing something where they're getting a lot of bites. So he's got to feel pretty confident about what they're doing. He's making very specific casts to certain areas, so. You can see they obviously hit that brush pile. They made like 3 casts through it and didn't get bit. We're moving on to the next one. it does appear that when they hit the brush pile, these fish are gonna, if they're there, they're gonna bite pretty quick. Looks like this brush pile is right out in front of my boat.
There's Kobe.
That's a team we actually started on this morning, and got some video of them before we went live.
We're gonna come right back in front of you. So see if you can.
Okay. Hook set. Another smaller fish, but should be keeper number 5. That may be close. Quick little measure there, and it's going to be a keeper. Should be number 5. It's not the 5 fish limit they're looking for, but it is a start. They got plenty of time left to fish. Man, there's a lot of treetops out here.
$17? Okay, cool. Y'all are Zach and Kristen. Okay. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
CB.
How are y'all doing so far? Nothing? Have y'all been punching and throwing a frog? That's good. How did y'all do in practice? No practice? That's the toughest. Let me know if I need to get out of the way. Am I good here? Here, do you want me to pull this way? Sorry, I had to come back here and get an update on you guys. I couldn't resist.
I could tell you couldn't help it.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back inside the Alabama Bass Trail Live Studio here on the banks of beautiful Lay Lake. I'm at Beeswax Park, and as you can see, there's a lot of people inside this cove and then back in the very back of Beeswax Creek. So we're seeing guys run back and forth from my windows here on the banks of Lay Lake. I do want to mention we have covered 5 of the top 10 teams in the Angler of the Year points. Probably right now our unofficial leaders are James Pitts and John Monkus. They had 5 fish for about 10.5 pounds, but we are seeing the second place in points leaders, Brian Stifler, Wesley Gore, make a move right now. They now have 5 fish for around 10 pounds. So based on what we can see from the camera angles, that's kind of what we're estimating. They have not given us a weight, but somewhere around 10 pounds. They know that they're going to have to upgrade those fish to be able to take home a good check today. We do think somewhere around 10.5, 11 pounds will be the check line today, with about 18 to 19 pounds winning this tournament. Barring, we mentioned there was a team, Lovelady, Brandon Lovelady and Josh Williams won a tournament here last week with just over 20.5 pounds. They had a 7.19 and a 6.5 in that bag. Can they find those same type of fish today? We will see. We're going to step away for just a few minutes and go to a short commercial break. We will be back here, get our teams repositioned, maybe on some new teams, and bring you more live action from here at Lay Lake. Thank you for tuning in to the ABT Live on the Water presented to you by Black Rifle Coffee. We'll be back shortly.
On the Water live coverage is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by Strike King, Lew's, by Garmin, Wadawi Marine, and by Alabama State Parks. There's more to come. Stay with us.
Some things ain't worth keeping. Yesterday's traditions, today's adventures, tomorrow's memories. Now that's something worth keeping. Fish Alabama and find your keeper.
For more information, visit fishalabama.org.
things you let me see. Things you let me see.
Buying stale, burnt coffee is like eating hot sushi out of a vending machine. It's just a no-no. Explosion! Cool guys don't look at them. As a veteran-owned and operated company, we take massive pride in giving back. And with your support, we've donated millions to charitable organizations and veterans. Do you have a lightsaber leg, Jay?
Yeah, I got a lightsaber leg.
When you sign up for our coffee club, you get fast free shipping directly to your door. I'm on a helicopter.
Phoenix Boats, our passion for fishing is obvious. Whether it's a pro event or fishing with our family and friends,
we truly love the sport of fishing.
That's why our goal is to make every single Phoenix boat that goes out the door the best fishing platform it can be in both design and construction.
We love to fish as much as anyone, and we believe it shows in every boat we build.
Phoenix Boats, built by anglers for anglers.
Stetson Blaylock, Todd Auten, Hank Terry, let's go!
Garmin LiveScope, I tell you right now, if you don't have it, you are behind. It's just wild. It's like a video game.
If you do not have that Garmin LiveScope, you are definitely missing out.
Bassmaster Classic Champion!
TH Marine HydroWave H2 KVD Edition is a surefire way to ignite a feeding frenzy. The HydroWave utilizes a sound-emitting technology that imitates bait fish and other feeding fish below the surface that preys on the competitive nature of bass and other game fish to get you more bites. The HydroWave is another way that TH Marine has you covered from transom to trolling motor.
Nobody wants to run out of power when they're on the water. There is a better way. Introducing the Charge Marine Power Management Station from PowerPole that does the work of 3 devices: a traditional battery charger, a charge on the run, and an emergency start system. PowerPole Charge.
All the ways you love to play, Academy Sports and Outdoors makes it easier than ever to get what you need and have fun out there. Get free shipping on your favorite brands at Academy.com or get free curbside or in-store pickup at your Academy store.
Jack's Big Bologna Breakfast Sandwich is back. There's just more to love with 2 perfectly fried slices of bologna topped with eggs, cheese, and Texas toast for just $3.49. Breakfast made the Southern way. Jack's, all about the South.
Big companies get bigger and bigger and talk about their fancy labs where they study fish behavior. But then they all go golfing on the weekend. We don't have a large laboratory to test baits. Why, you ask? We don't need a big laboratory because our pros fish, our employees fish, our salespeople fish, our suppliers fish, our mold builders fish, our owners fish, and our kids fish. This is our laboratory. Our R&D comes from time on the water, learning how to make fish bite. We don't have other hobbies. We fish. We fish all year in all conditions across the whole country. All that time on the water brings us thousands of hours of testing new products and improving current ones for all species. We're a family-owned U.S. company that has many of our products made in America by American workers. The products we don't make in America, we make in Guatemala, which supports many families in that country as well.
Bill Petty Toyota is Alabama's #1 volume Toyota dealer. But that's not the only reason to get to know Bill Petty. Enjoy a 10-year unlimited warranty on every new Toyota in stock. Get 1 year of 24/7 roadside assistance. Test drive for the chance to win $5,000. You heard right. 5,000 big ones. Plus, choose from over 700 new Toyotas in stock and price to move. Bill Petty Toyota is Alabama's #1 volume Toyota dealer. Get to know us today.
Some things ain't worth keeping. Yesterday's traditions, today's adventures, tomorrow's memories. Now that's something worth keeping. Fish Alabama and find your keeper.
For more information, visit fishalabama.org.
Things you let me see. Things you let me see.
Welcome back, guys, inside the Alabama Bass Trail Live Studio here on the banks of beautiful Lay Lake on the Coosa River chain of lakes. Again, we'd like to send out a huge shout out to Kendall Williams and the entire Shelby County Commission for being our host this week while we are here in Columbiana, Shelby County, Alabama, the fourth stop, the Alabama Bass Trail South Division. We have covered 5 of the top 10 teams in your Angler of the Year points. We are going to try to find your points leaders, Rob Lee and Steve Winslet. They currently set 14 points ahead of Brian Stifler, Wesley Gore, who you just saw on Alabama Bass Trail Live just a few minutes ago. We're going to get right back out on the water. We know you want to see as much action out there as possible, so we're going to join Kenneth Grover as he is back out on beautiful Lay Lake. Kenneth, who are you with right now?
Just not willing to chase a bait. Kind of increases your odds of catching what's there. We're with a team of Kobe Carden and Chris Rutland. We were on them earlier today before we went live and saw them catch 3 keepers. And we've just touched bases with them again, and they've got 5. He said it's a small limit. I asked him about the activity level, if it was different than what he expected, and he said it's kind of what he expected. That apparently the bite's been kind of slow. These guys are very familiar with the lake, though. They'll have plenty of places to run. We saw them this morning. They were fishing scatterbrush piles. It's kind of the edge of a creek channel that runs through here. This time of year on Lay Lake, I expect a lot of teams to come in with fish. Be a lot of 5 fish limits weighed in today. The key is going to be the 3 pound and better fish. This lake typically we'll see a lot of 5 fish limits that are in that 14 to 16 pound range. And then we've seen, I think Kay talked about it earlier, we've seen the winning weight be anywhere from 17 to 24 pounds. So it'll be interesting to see what will win this tournament. I know this time of year it can be kind of tricky. We're dealing with a lot of post-spawn, and that can kind of spread these fish around and make it a little bit more difficult to kind of capitalize on a lot of quality bites. Seen quite a few boats back in this area now as well. Some tournament anglers and some that aren't tournament anglers. I think that may be Stifler and Gore that's kind of in front of them now. That's the team we just left just a little while ago. It is starting to get pretty warm out here now too. The sun's getting on up, got no wind. Really starting to feel that sun beating down on us now.
It must have crappie on it right now. Oh. Makes it hard sometimes, right? You're looking at them on the Garmin Live Scope and there. They're loaded up on this one stump. You got bit. Upriver guys and tried to see what's going on. Number 118, they are thing at some point, or there's gotta be. I mean, for us, this kernel just come on. Yeah. I didn't look at generation schedules today. I'm assuming y'all did. Started at 8. Started at 8? Started pulling at 8. Okay, so it'll take a little while for it to get here. Oh, yeah. But when it gets here, I'm assuming this spot's going to turn on. Oh. And the other 2 or 3 that we've already stopped on. Yeah. Y'all got a kind of little milk run of these little spots? Yeah. And we pulled up here and caught, I caught a small largemouth that wanted to keep her. That gave us some salt hope. Yeah. Stayed a little longer than maybe we should. That's the way fishing goes sometimes. And then when the current starts, the 3-pounders may pull up. Boat number 118, Ty Story and Carl Youngblood. Like I said earlier, they don't have a limit, don't have any fish in the box really. They have caught some that are not keepers. Just was talking with them, and current here, we're going to turn on at 8. Now we're a good ways from it, so when it makes it here, it'll come across this main river flat. Which will push the current down this shallowish area. We're sitting at 20 foot here, but it goes up pretty shallow right there. The big long shallow along the riverbank. Got grass on one end, more of an island that will kind of break up that current, kind of create an eddy down here around where down here around where some guys have laid out some brush piles. So fishing a spot that is known to be good for current. Like we said earlier, some of these guys gonna be a little while before it makes down to this part of the river. We did not make much of a run from we went up the river just a little bit. I have seen some guys in the backs of pockets in this.
Alright guys, we've got boat 92 right now. That's Bradley Foster and Nick Harris. Or Foster, Bradley, and Nick Harris. You guys didn't see it, but these guys just caught a pretty big fish. So we started trolling over to them as soon as we could. I would say it was probably 2.5, 3 pounds. Maybe that's not like a huge fish, but from here it looked pretty big. Ease up to him and ask him a couple of questions. All right, guys, we're going to talk about what just happened there that we saw.
It's a lucky bite. We're waiting on a boat.
Really?
Yeah, his boat's not running right.
Oh, y'all are just running on the trolling motor right now?
No, I mean I can bring it when you get on the lane. It'll start over the water.
How big was that fish? I couldn't tell. 4 pounds? I thought it was like 3 maybe. I couldn't see though. That was pretty good though. What was that on? Creature bait? Were you throwing a big bite baits? Maybe. Y'all said that at the exact same time. How many fish y'all have? 5? Okay.
Got a couple 2-pounders in that one.
Gotcha. So how much weight do you think you have total? 10 pounds? Hey, that's solid.
We can get that. Well, I don't know. I say get out of here and run some of our other stuff. We'll catch another one like that. We'll stay in here the rest of the day.
If you move, are you going to go to like shady spots?
We're going to try some deep.
Deep.
Some deeper stuff.
Nice.
Some deep, shallow, kind of mix in both.
Gotcha. Did you practice here at all?
We did.
And how'd that go?
In here?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good bite. But I mean, there's a lot of pressure. So, you know,
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I feel like this place gets fished the hardest out of the whole lake.
Like, I don't understand why fish would bite it. You know what I mean? They just replenish them. I guess, you know, everybody throws back all their fish. A lot of them come back here.
That makes sense, actually. And they had a tournament last weekend.
Yeah, they have tournaments out of here 3 days a week,
Yeah.
4 days a week, and then a couple weeks ago they had four tournaments just out of beeswax at one time. Yeah, you don't have to leave this creek if you want to find those. Yeah.
That's why we came here. We're trying to cover as many boats as possible. Have you been fishing any brim beds? I've seen a lot back here since I got here.
Actually, I caught one just a minute ago off a brim bed.
Yeah?
But it's an old brim bed. There's no brim bed or brim on it.
Really? Yeah, with the sun positioned how it is and with this clear water, you could just see them all over the place.
Yeah. With this moon, it makes sense.
Just an update for anyone who's just now tuning in. We're with boat 92, Foster Bradley and Nick Harris. They have 5 fish for 10 pounds.
Here we're at boat 84 at Sprint Cove Simon Morrow. How's it going so far today, guys?
Slow.
Slow, that's not what I wanted to hear.
We got 2 good ones and 1 little one that brought the other boat in.
Okay. When you say good ones, what kind of good ones?
2-pounders.
Is this kind of what you expected based on practice?
It's been tough. We even get to many.
Right.
We're just waiting on the current to come on up.
You know, you talked about the current. Sometimes on a day where it's really slow, you know, that current can really make things different. You can fish through an area and not get many bites or be a finicky bite. All of a sudden the current gets right and these fish start eating a lot better. They just get conditioned to feed when there's current. It makes it a lot easier. And that's kind of what they do.
I think he had about 9 to 10 pounds. It's been like in the 10-pound range back here, so. I think y'all's is the biggest fish we've seen so far there. Yeah. Let me know if I need to move if y'all want to like cast this way. There you go. Yeah. You'd think they'd be tucked under that grass or something. Fish catch coming in hot. I don't know if I'm just being biased, but I think I see a fighting frog here. Just saying.
sunset? Maybe.
Yeah, it's green pug. Last time I spoke to them, they had about 10 pounds. I don't know what, probably a little over 10 pounds with that cull, but not a huge change because that wasn't a super significantly bigger fish than what they've had before. But these guys were talking about it earlier. Apparently fish are pretty much roaming around and they're very scattered. You would think they'd be locked into this grass with it being so hot and the sun being so high, they'd be in that shade, but they really are just roaming around, moving around. I've been seeing them all day, like next to my trolling motor, and so they're just kind of fan casting around in the area.
We're with Boat 58, John Brown and Trey Sorrells. Pulled up on the guys and told them I could hear the live wells running, so either they were just running clean water or getting lunch ready. I didn't know, but they said they got a couple fish in the box and waiting on the current. Guys, tell me what happens when the current does come on.
Well, the fish are a lot more spread out when you don't have current. They're very sporadic. They're not on any structure. They're not waiting, you know, for an ambush situation or whatever. But when they turn the water on, they'll start hugging that structure. They'll start waiting on the bait to come by them. They start staging up, ready to hit it. And so, you know, everybody pulls up to a spot and says, "Oh, this looks good," you know, or "Oh, that should be a bass," just because of where their bait landed. Well, that's because that's what the bass are doing. It should be sitting there waiting for the bait to come by him. So, but this lake here and this time of year, current's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of brim beds. They're up shallow, but they're just waiting for that water to come through. Yesterday, coming through this same patch of grass right there on that point, current coming through here is pushing.
Am I still good where I am?
3 casts with a buzz bait and tank was full.
Yeah.
Now you just kind of wait.
So if the current came on, let's say 8 o'clock, how long does it take to get to this spot?
Probably about an hour.
About an hour? So we're
coming up
about an hour.
About now. If they turned it on.
If they turned it on. I mean, generation schedule, we all know, said around 8. You know?
I would caution boaters not to go by the website.
Yeah, never go by the website.
2 days ago, I got above Kelly Creek and the water was 2 feet low. And I was just begging to get to the creek so I could come out of it. So I would not go by the website.
see these guys just take their time working down the bank here. We got the guys that were on earlier pulled out to a middle of the lake kind of deal. I think the current, I haven't seen it come by us yet, but it can't be far away. As the guy said, that, you know, if it turned on at 8, it'd be here in an hour to this section of the lake. I do see guys all along this little run here with kind of making their way out to the river. Guys know what happens here, just like the fish know what happens here when the current comes on. So we're doing some of the same stuff at this point we were doing in the backs of those pockets. We're just fishing grass. When the current's not here, just like the guys were doing in the backs of those pockets, they're just kind of going along, throwing a floating worm, just trying to get a fish to react. And you may have to get it right in front of his face to get him to react. Now when the current comes on, the fish turn on to be a little more active. And you can kind of come by them a little quicker. You can look forward here and do see some bait fish kind of working out deep. So as I look forward here, and I just had a bird fly by too as well, that is a good sign that there's probably some bait fish in the area. But as I look upriver, I see little ripples on top of the water, and that's bait. And I can probably see about 5 or 6 different little schools of them right now going forward. So we have a nice shot of the power plant there as well. So these guys are just taking their time working it down with bait, wait for a good bite. Bait moving like that, it may be a sign that the current's kind of starting to come on, maybe on the fresh end of it, but there is a big ball of shad right ahead of us here, which is what the current does, is it pushes these bait down the bank, and a bass can just sit here on the edge of the grass, and a good sized meal is going to come right by them. Just made a cast into that bait ball. This is where electronics could come into play here. You know, you can see on your Garmin live scope shooting forward, you can see the bait, and then you can even see them busting the surface at this point, but you could roll by with live scope and look and see if there's any fish in the area active with them. So this is where electronics will play a big part in it. It kind of helps them either catch fish because the fish are there, or it helps them eliminate the water and they can kind of move on.
Well, the water is on, so we're going north.
All right. Where it is, the current is on, and they're going to move north.
See y'all in a minute.
Just an update for everyone tuning in with me. We are still with boat number 92, Foster Bradley and Nick Harris. They have 5 fish for about 10 pounds. Just an update with anyone that's just tuning in. We are still with boat number 92, Foster Bradley and Nick Harris. They still have 5 fish for 10 pounds. They haven't upgraded yet, but we're sticking with them because they have been catching a lot of fish in this area, and we really think we could probably get one more fish catch in before we go to the next team.
None. Hey, you know what? Current's on, so get ready, right?
We're coming up this way a little bit. Tied in the back pocket. No luck.
No luck in the back pocket, so we made the move out to the main river. Current's probably about here, and gonna put some in the box now, right? Boat number 62, Jody Fritz and Michael George. Guys, did y'all spend any time practicing this week?
Fishing blind.
Fishing blind or fishing history 1, right? Boat 62, Jody Fitz and Michael George. Don't have any fish in the box. They said they had fish, backs of pockets, and didn't really get anything to produce. They were waiting on current. I'm going to cut it on. Here. Guys are making a move out to the river. The guys that fish here a lot know that these fish are extremely current driven. So those that are looking to catch them pretty quick and hold on to their points and make the top 40. And that's what they'll do. They'll come out there and just get it. If they get it in pretty quick, then they'll be able to make that move. Go upgrade some by targeting a large amount later in the day. They're ready to rotate some.
Just pulling up on the team of Rob Lee and Steve Winslet. Got a little confused earlier. We thought they were in a different area of the lake. We were able to find them anyway. Just going to pull up to them. These guys are currently leading the Angler of the Year points race. Curious to see how they've done so far today. It takes doing well in every tournament in order to win the AOI. So, hey guys, how's your day going so far?
Not good.
Not good. Of course, we always bring good luck.
We got one 13-inch fish.
Okay, one 13-inch fish.
Only bite we got.
Were you expecting it to be this slow and tough?
Well, it's been slow and tough, but it's just in the right area. Unfortunately, our starting spot, there was about 6 boats from a local tournament sitting on it.
Right.
Catching fish when we got to it this morning. So we in the backup plan. It's just slow grind. It don't take one grass, man, Joe, to catch it quick.
Right, it can happen in a hurry.
Oh yeah. Sure.
So, Curtin, you guys are leading Anglers of the Year. Is that something you guys think about at all, or you try to put it out of your mind?
I mean, we just let that fall where it may. I mean, if you worry about it, stress out too much, I mean, it's all up to you on that. So, let that come to us. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't.
Right.
All you do is give it 100% every 30.
Right. You guys have obviously at this point, so I mean, you definitely don't want to discount that fact.
Yeah, we've been truly blessed so far. But I've never seen late.
You think fishing pressure has a little bit to do with that?
COVID is trying to affect a lot of things.
A lot more boats out on the lake.
Yeah. Go out on the lake. I mean,
amazing how that works.
Yeah, you can go out during the week, have it to yourself.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, right. Hopefully this afternoon, which it should be.
You got to take advantage of.
Well, we knew going in it was going to be ever who could catch them the first 30 minutes. And I think we found that one of the best places, but like I said, the locals got there. We watched them catch 3 right while we were sitting there watching. We just couldn't get there. But that's part of fishing. this tough on everybody.
We talked about this earlier. Here's two partners again. You got one on the front of the deck that's fishing pretty fast, and the other one that's fishing a lot slower. They're again taking advantage of the opportunity. You know, you're fishing as a team, so it doesn't matter which one catches a fish. It counts for both of them. Giving those fish something different to look at increases your odds of catching a fish that you just might fish over and not have the opportunity. Looks like these guys are about to make a run again. Okay.
Welcome back inside the Alabama Bass Trail Live Studio here on the banks of beautiful Lay Lake. As you can see in the other camera shot, you can see that the team is busy setting up the trailer. They get started bright and early. As soon as blast-off's over, they start setting things up, getting things ready. They'll come back, hang the banner, fill the tanks with water. We do that at the very last so that the tanks do not have time to warm up and all of that. So they'll finish by filling those tanks just a little before 1 o'clock, as the guys can come in as early as one hour prior to the official weigh-in time starting to bump their fish and weigh in if they have a fish struggling. Something we see in these May and June tournaments, as the water heats up, the fish, you know, especially just post-spawn fish, they're going to struggle. So we want to make sure that we keep those tanks as close to water temperature as we have in the lake, not to vary more than, say, 3 to 5 degrees, so that we don't shock fish, so that we don't put them in any more stress than they're already in. But the Alabama Bass Trail goes to great lengths, as well as our anglers go to great lengths, to keep those fish alive, as the Alabama Bass Trail has the stiffest dead fish penalty in all of bass fishing. We have a 1 pound penalty for a dead fish, and you can only weigh 1 in our weigh-in, and it cannot be weighed for big fish. So these guys are trying their best to keep these fish alive. Once they get to our team, we're doing our best to keep these fish alive and then return them back to Lay Lake in a great, healthy manner. So that's what our guys are doing. You can see that on the screen that I just showed you. Kind of as a follow-up, guys, we have Foster Bradley, Nick Harris have put their fish fifth fish in the boat. They're somewhere between 10.5 and 11 pounds, and that seems to be our unofficial leaders. We have 2 teams that are reporting that right now. We are going to try to go back in to that area in about an hour to see if we can follow up with Brandon Lovelady and Josh Williams, who won a tournament here last week, and get some other updates back in that creek. But right now our guys are out on the water. They're changing positions. They're getting in new areas of the lake to bring you more action out on the water. We're going to go to a short commercial break and we'll be back soon. Thanks for tuning in to the Alabama Bass Trail Live on the Water, presented by Black Rifle Coffee. We'll see you soon.
This portion of Alabama Bass Trail Live is sponsored by AmFirst Federal Credit Union, Fish Alabama, Mountain Dew, by Jax, and by Alabama State Parks. Live coverage continues right after this. Some things ain't worth keeping. Yesterday's traditions, today's adventures, tomorrow's memories. Now that's something worth keeping. Fish Alabama and find your keeper.
For more information, visit fishalabama.org.
Things you let me see. Things you let me see.
Buying stale, burnt coffee is like eating hot sushi out of a vending machine. It's just a no-no. Explosion! Cool guys don't look at them. As a veteran-owned and operated company, we take massive pride in giving back. And with your support, we've donated millions to charitable organizations and veterans. Do you have a lightsaber leg, Jay?
Yeah, I got a lightsaber leg.
When you sign up for our coffee club, you get fast free shipping directly to your door. I'm on a helicopter.
Phoenix Boats, our passion for fishing is obvious. Whether it's a pro event or fishing with our family and friends,
we truly love the sport of fishing.
That's why our goal is to make every single Phoenix boat that goes out the door the best fishing platform it can be in both design and construction.
We love to fish as much as anyone, and we believe it shows in every boat we build.
Phoenix Boats, built by anglers for anglers.
Stetson Blaylock, Todd Auten, Hank Cherry, let's go!
Garmin LiveScope, I tell you right now, if you don't have it, you are behind. This is just wild. It's like a video game.
If you do not have that Garmin LiveScope, you are definitely missing out.
Bassmaster Classic Champion!
TH Marine HydroWave H2 KVD Edition is a surefire way to ignite a feeding frenzy. The HydroWave utilizes a sound-emitting technology that imitates bait fish and other feeding fish below the surface that preys on the competitive nature of bass and other game fish to get you more bites. The HydroWave is another way that TH Marine has you covered from transom to trolling motor.
Nobody wants to run out of power when they're on the water. There is a better way. Introducing the Charge Marine Power Management Station from PowerPole that does the work of 3 devices: a traditional battery charger, a charge on the run, and an emergency start system. PowerPole Charge.
For all the ways you love to play, Academy Sports and Outdoors makes it easier than ever to get what you need and have fun out there. Get free shipping on your favorite brands at Academy.com or get free curbside or in-store pickup at your Academy store.
Jack's Big Bologna Breakfast Sandwich is back. There's just more to love with 2 perfectly fried slices of bologna topped with eggs, cheese, and Texas toast for just $3.49. Breakfast made the Southern way. Jack's, all about the South.
Big companies get bigger and bigger and talk about their fancy labs where they study fish behavior. But then they all go golfing on the weekend. We don't have a large laboratory to test baits. Why, you ask? We don't need a big laboratory because our pros fish, our employees fish, our salespeople fish, our suppliers fish, our mold builders fish, our owners fish, and our kids fish. This is our laboratory. Our R&D comes from time on the water, learning how to make fish bite. We don't have other hobbies. We fish. We fish all year in all conditions across the whole country. All that time on the water brings us thousands of hours of testing new products and improving current ones for all species. We're a family-owned U.S. company that has many of our products made in America by American workers. The products we don't make in America, we make in Guatemala, which supports many families in that country as well.
Bill Petty Toyota is Alabama's #1 volume Toyota dealer. But that's not the only reason to get to know Bill Petty. Enjoy a 10-year unlimited warranty on every new Toyota in stock. Get 1 year of 24/7 roadside assistance. Test drive for the chance to win $5,000. You heard right. 5,000 big ones. Plus, choose from over 700 new Toyotas in stock and price to move. Bill Petty Toyota is Alabama's #1 volume Toyota dealer. Get to know us today.
Some things ain't worth keeping. Yesterday's traditions, today's adventures, tomorrow's memories. Now that's something worth keeping. Fish Alabama and find your keeper.
For more information, visit fishalabama.org.
Things you let me see. Things you let me see.
Buying stale, burnt coffee is like eating hot sushi out of a vending machine. It's just a no-no. Explosion! Cool guys don't look at them. As a veteran-owned and operated company, we take massive pride in giving back. And with your support, we've donated millions to charitable organizations and veterans. Do you have a lightsaber leg, Jay?
Yeah, I got a lightsaber leg.
When you sign up for our coffee club, you get fast free shipping directly to your door. I'm on a helicopter.
Phoenix Boats, our passion for fishing is obvious. Whether it's a pro event or fishing with our family and friends,
We truly love the sport of fishing.
That's why our goal is to make every single Phoenix boat that goes out the door the best fishing platform it can be in both design and construction.
We love to fish as much as anyone, and we believe it shows in every boat we build.
Phoenix Boats, built by anglers for anglers.
Welcome back inside the Alabama Bass Trail live studio here on the banks of Lay Lake. And it's so fitting that Phoenix was the last commercial you just saw, because Laura Ann is with the team and they are in a beautiful Phoenix boat. I think it's Ken Chambers and Jason Grape. Laura Ann, tell us who you're with. Tell us who you're with and what they have in the boat.
Wait, you have to do that for live. Put it back in. They're going to come to us. Do the exact same thing again.
Okay.
Welcome back, guys. We're with boat 177, Ken Chambers and Jason Grape. Do you think you could show me that fish that you caught that you showed me earlier?
Yeah, you want to say it, Megan?
Yeah. Yeah. What is that, a redfish? You could have at least committed to the bid and gone a bass.
I done that one day back in Gunnersville. We was fishing a little club tournament back a long time ago. This is back when everybody went to bass fishing homepage. I was up under a bridge and we over with a dip net, and old preacher, he was on there looking. Finally he come over, how big was that? I said 11 pounds. He got discouraged and went home early and posted on bass fishing homepage. We had a bad day, but a buddy of mine caught an 11 pounder. I was like, oh no.
That's so cute that he's bragging on you. So this is your first time fishing the ABT this year? Is that what you said
No,
earlier?
it's just our first time down
Just
here.
first time here. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I heard it was tough. I believe it now.
Yeah.
Didn't think it'd be that bad.
How come you didn't get any practice in?
I was a Chickamauga.
Yeah. How'd you do at Chickamauga?
I cast a chick.
Yeah.
It was tough. It was tough up there.
I used to live on Chickamauga.
Fun lake. You see a stump? I caught it 5 times. I think I can call this time.
What's your plan for the rest of the day? Just fishing deep?
Looking for a quarter stick. If I can find a quarter stick, we'll find a fish.
Fair enough.
We just pulled up to boat 32. It's Jimmy Harrison, Chris
Kenneth, how are you
Grandstaff.
doing over there?
Says his day's gone pretty good so far. He's got 5 fish for about 8.5 pounds. He did catch a short fish as we were pulling up on him just a few minutes ago. Kind of an offshore hump, a little bit different than probably what we've seen from Laura Ann and even Jason. They're a different part of the lake. Seeing a lot of guys fish more offshore out here. This is just a shallow hump, and they're dragging plastics across the top of it. Fishing real slow. Heard some several guys that the bite's just kind of finicky real down here. Maybe next time you see us, we'll have some fish.
I bet we will. We've been bringing good luck to people.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I thought y'all was coming to cut the air off.
I'm lucky today.
No, we don't have that power.
Not always lucky, but today I am.
I thought everybody else was fishing.
Just kind of. Has been far upriver and says that he's noticed current up there from down here. They haven't really noticed the current. The lake gets a lot wider down here, so the current's a lot more noticeable upriver. Once we get down here, it gets wide. It's kind of harder to notice, and I haven't been able to tell where I've been. And earlier when we were on Brent Crow, he said that he's kind of waiting on the current, at least where he could notice. He knew it was running, but he hadn't been able to notice on the part of the lake he was in. So I think some of these guys are kind of hoping that'll happen before they have to come in for weigh-in. They can be in an area and all of a sudden these fish really trigger and start. It's got a hook set here, but that current can really trigger these fish and get them more active. They seem to be pretty lethargic right now. Partner's already getting the scale ready. These teams use different methods to figure out how to cull. These guys have a scale, and that's the kind of scale that I actually store weights in memory. So he's able to weigh this one, and it'll tell him, you know, right off the bat if he's got one already in line, whether it's smaller or not. And it'll equate it to a number. So then that's what he's just done there. He's pulled one out of live well, and that's the number that his scale told him was the smallest one. Threw that one back. So this is a little bit of an upgrade. I couldn't tell from this distance how much, but it is an upgrade. As you can see, the water's just as slick as it can be. There's absolutely no wind. This area of the lake, it's a pretty wide area of the lake, so if there was any wind at all, you would notice it. I think some of these teams are actually either current or wind. They'll take either one, but something to just kind of trigger these fish and get them more active. You know, there's also a chance. This is a pretty shallow hump on top. There is a chance that there could be fish spawning on top of this hump as well. You don't hear a lot of guys talk about that, but a lot of these main lake fish will spawn later than fish from the backs of creeks. And he's fishing super slow. And you know, it's possible that even though you can't see, you're not sight fishing like what we saw in our coverage at Weiss Lake. But it's possible if you drag a bait slow enough and you come across a bed that you could pick off a spawning fish doing this as well. starting to see quite a few boats running up and down the lake. And, you know, I think some of our coverage has shown it, but there is a variety in this lake. You don't have to run far to see it. So some of these guys that may have started out with a particular technique or fishing a certain type of cover, they can make a relatively short run and completely change their tactics and try to find something else that works. You can see that kind of happen throughout the day. You can run back and forth. Guys can be more up the river, narrow area, maybe more current driven.
Last week, really
or shallow water
really?
down the lake.
We sat right here last
offshore points.
I did, caught 17 pounds.
Sometimes I'll go back and forth, just trying to hit the right spot at the right time.
Fishing he went one way and I went another way, and I sat right here. Well, I actually up in there a little bit. But the wind was blowing through there.
So the wind probably made a little change.
It made some kind of difference.
Yeah. How about the current? I mean, it's coming, I think, right? I mean, it should be.
I believe yesterday they was pulling water yesterday, and they came back yesterday afternoon, and they were fish schooling really good.
Huh.
But they wouldn't mind what we were doing.
Yeah.
We had 3 places, and this was one of them.
It's kind of hard to give up on the spot where you caught 17 pounds earlier.
Sitting here waiting.
Yeah, and then, I mean, it may be one of those deals where it does turn on.
Well, it's one of those things too where you'll still see them storm.
Yeah.
You get in it, they'll be storming.
So they're here, just waiting to get.
It's hard to
get set up.
Leave fish to go find fish. It's different if you got 5 and you're going to look for a bigger one.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do now.
Yeah.
Get our fifth.
Get your 5th one in, so you got 4. So get your 5th one in and then go hunt.
Yeah, hopefully for something bigger.
Yeah. Well, guys, we'll push back and watch the fish a little bit.
Hopefully we'll catch it.
Everybody on Facebook Live is waiting for a good action, I'm telling you. So. Sat here.
All right, quick update, everyone. We've got boat 214, Shane Wallace and Anthony Coley, and they've got 1 fish for 3 pounds. You guys catching buckethead bass and you bucket heads? Are y'all just fishing docks right now because the sun's high? How did you catch that big one you've got? Spinnerbait? Was it in the grass? So is the plan to like fish docks until the sun gets a little lower and then go back to grass?
No, we'll be doing this the rest of the day.
Gotcha. Did y'all get any practice in before this?
Just a little. We didn't take many bites. We took a few on docks. So kind of like, let's go with that. We ain't got nothing else. It's been tough. I want some practice.
Everyone's been saying it's been tough.
This spot last weekend in practice.
production booth, whatever you want to call it. That's like his go-to bait. Year-round, go-to bait. Old ball and chain. Known for big fish. Shout out to the Black Rifle guys for hooking us up. Keeps me awake. Keeps me jittery on the water. Keeps me in. The temperature has warmed up, I will say that. Probably the hottest day fishing this year so far. Fish on, maybe. Oh no. So I'm guessing there's some structure right there. He's throwing it. And he's going to break it off. Bluebird skies, no wind, current. From where I sit, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boats on the river. I would push the fish, push the current up against this bank. It's kind of a shallow flat down through here. Water right there. Two boats are in the back of that cove back there. You know, there's a temperature, air temperature heats up. It does tend to make the water temperature go up as well. So I'm sitting at almost 77 degrees. Spawners, they were in there. Spawned maybe a couple weeks ago. Made their first stop at that point back in there. Fishing some of this transition. Hopefully kind of ambush their fish here. More than what we would call a travel lane. Just off their bow with a big cove back in there with tons of grass. You can even see some guys back in there idling with their motor all the way up, so it is a pretty shallow. So those guys may be fishing. Bag today, they have a few spots in a largemouth. Anchor that bag a little bigger. I do sometimes cheat out here in the deeper water. Go ahead and turn the Garmin on just so I can see what I'm looking at. And I mean, there are just large balls of bait out here with fish kind of working around them. Definitely not to it, but that's what you want to be at this time of year. You want to find a bait and you're going to find a fish. They want one more. They've got 4 fish in the box. If they get one more, they would have a limit. They say small. We are north of Beeswax. And a couple of bends in the river. And Kenneth on down on the definitely got pressure on there.
Here we are with boat 38. It's Alan Brown and Frank Henry. He has one keeper in the boat. It says it's just barely a keeper. These guys started their day fishing shallow grass. He said that they found the shad spawn yesterday morning. They went there. It didn't happen this morning. Covered 4 or 5 different places, all the same type stuff, shallow grass. Only one keeper to show for it. He says he's just now gotten out on their, what he called the backup plan, which is fishing offshore. Looks like he's hooked up now. Now, he's throwing a crankbait, and there's a lot of brush piles out here. He may have just hit a brush pile, made him think that it was a bite. Kind of a main lake ledge with some scattered brush, kind of some of the stuff that we've seen from some of the other anglers already today. But he said this was kind of his plan B. So they were a little bit discouraged that they couldn't get on the shad spawn this morning, but still seemed to be upbeat and positive. They could still, catch them running some offshore areas. Another team where one angler's throwing a crankbait, kind of working an area pretty quick, and partner's sitting in the back dragging a worm as slow as he can.
the summertime and feels pretty good. There he is. Don't know where, but we'll check you just to be on the safe side.
We're with boat number 6, Adam Carpenter and Scott Carpenter, and they just caught a fish here on live.
Got some stumps on it, spare, here and there and yonder. Tried it back there in the back, but I believe Alabama Pirates sprayed it because I mean they ain't a green twig back there, so
yeah.
He said, well, crap, we'll come out here and hit this a lick, and then going out on the main river because we ain't got no monsters, that's for sure.
What kind of baits are y'all throwing?
Just this little jerk bait.
Jerk baits.
Flukes, caught one on fluke, little plastics, about it.
Are you just giving it a little tap, tap, let it float up, tap, tap, let it float up?
Yep. Well, just mixing it up.
I'm just kind of reeling slow.
Tough day. I mean, they said we was